Hello there, and welcome to another very special episode of Electric Sheep. This is our 125 subscriber special. So we're just flying towards 150 subscribers and maybe 200 beyond that. Who knows? Um, so I'm going to do a part two to my Phoenix Jones biography. Not that there isn't already enough documentaries and life tellings of Phoenix Jones's stories, because my God, there's a lot of shit on Phoenix. Pretty much type in RLSH or real life superhero, he's the first thing that comes up, and most documentaries, if not dominated by him, have a mention of him. I very few real life superheroes or things on real life superheroes can go without mentioning Phoenix Jones, and fair enough, he did make a massive, smashing impact into everyone's psyche. And so, why not more Phoenix Jones? Here we go. Phoenix Jones biography part 2. It's not titled Image, but there was a malfunction and it says Phoenix Jones part 2 Image. So let's go. It's a very special episode of Electric Sheep.
Phoenix Jones Part 2 Image. What happened after the early crime-fighting days? According to a community-run source for real-life superheroes, RLSH, Phoenix Jones eventually retired from active crime patrolling. The group he once led, Rain City Superhero Movement, officially disbanded in 2014. In his absence from the streets, Jones's public presence became sporadic, and the vigilante-style hero work largely faded. Legal trouble and alleged drug charges, 2020. In January 2020, Jones, Fodor, was arrested on charges of drug dealing. Police alleged he sold MDMA, Molly, to an undercover officer in November 2019, and that a second incident involved cocaine. According to police documents, in the first alleged drug deal, he delivered approximately 7 grams of MDMA in a downtown Starbucks after a text message negotiation. At the time of reporting, he and his partner, the alleged accomplice, were charged with violation of the Uniform Controlled Substances Act, VUCSA. This arrest marked a dramatic shift from his former crime fighter image and garnered widespread media attention. Media coverage and official response. During a 2011 arrest for a pepper spray incident, Jones was unmasked in court, revealing his identity as Ben Fodor. The 2011 pepper spray case ultimately resulted in no charges, with prosecutors citing proof problems and saying a conviction was unlikely. Police and city officials repeatedly criticized costumed vigilantism, warning that dressing like a superhero does not place individuals above the law and can endanger bystanders. After the 2020 drug-related arrest, many news outlets portrayed the story as a dramatic fall from grace for a once celebrated Seattle figure. Within the RLSH community, the broader real-life superhero RLSH community, a loosely connected movement of volunteer crime preventers and social activists, reacted strongly. Some members criticized Jones's tactical decisions. After his 2011 arrest, a New York RLSH publicly said Jones's actions were what not to do as a citizen hero. Veteran RLSH figures worried his behavior could damage the entire movement's reputation, with concerns about recklessness overshadowing community service. Others defended him, saying they personally witnessed Jones prevent harm, including one bystander who described him stopping an imminent violent assault. The 2020 arrest reignited debate inside the RLSH world, with many distancing themselves from Jones entirely. Public sentiment. From admiration to disillusionment. Public opinion toward Phoenix Jones evolved dramatically. Early on, many Seattle residents saw him as a quirky but brave figure patrolling nightlife districts and attempting to stop assaults, fights, or robberies. Over time, incidents involving pepper spray, confrontations with police, and criticism from officials shifted the narrative. Some saw him as reckless or attention-seeking. By the time of the 2020 drug charges, much of the public sentiment had turned to disappointment. Commentators framed it as a symbolic collapse. The self-declared hero accused of committing the very crimes he once claimed to prevent. Still, some longtime supporters remembered moments where he seemed genuinely driven by a desire to protect others. Legacy. A complicated story. Phoenix Jones remains one of the most famous figures in the history of real-life superheroes. His story is still discussed in documentaries, articles, and podcasts. His career raises enduring questions about vigilantism. When does citizen intervention help? When does it endanger? For the RLSH community, Phoenix Jones is simultaneously a trailblazer and a cautionary tale. A person who inspired many, but whose missteps became a warning about the limits of unsanctioned heroism. His fall from public favor showed how fragile the balance is between a heroic persona and the real-world consequences of actions, choices, and personal struggles. If you want, I can write Phoenix Jones Part 3, focusing on long-term influence, how people view him today, and the broader rise and decline of the real-life superhero movement.
You're always hearing that. Everyone's saying that the RLSH has declined. It's the Justice League Unlimited that Phoenix Jones had there definitely doesn't exist the way it used to, but I don't necessarily think things are in a decline just because things aren't as hyped up as they used to be. There's still a lot of people who really believe in the cause, and even in the Phoenix Jones style, get out there and intervene, interject yourself into situations. Um, but there's a lot of people who don't go that way. But since this is kind of a more critical look at Phoenix in this part two, there, I want to add my bit that my big problem, other than him speaking so ill against the community, is the fact that he's a hypocrite. You know, like he goes out and busts drug dealers, and then he turns around and is part of the drug trade. That bothers me as much, maybe more than the actual drugs themselves, because adults can do drugs, and some adults deal drugs to live their lives and make money for themselves. But he wanted to hold people to a higher standard and say you don't have to do things like that. And yeah, that's sad. And he was also a hypocrite in his standard on who could fight, because he was going around fighting people all the time due to the mutual combat statutes, or whatever you want to call them, in his area, where two people could agree to fight and it was legal for them to fight. But then he's going up to two gentlemen outside of a bar and saying, if either one of you make a swing, I'm going to spray you. And it's like, well, what happened to mutual combat, motherfucker? Like, I don't understand that. That just doesn't make sense. And that's my criticism for Phoenix Jones. But I do want it said that the most important Phoenix Jones video that I think needs more attention is the video where he basically says nobody's on the ban list. Phoenix Jones, him himself, whatever you want to refer to him as, whether you see him as a standard or a standard for what not to do, he said that we're all in this together, basically, and that he's thrown away all his old grudges, and that we're the only people who understand each other. And let's get out there and do this, and we're all in this. We're all doing this together. My words are not good, and it doesn't necessarily represent what he said, but that was basically what he said. He because he was saying ill against real life sandwich handlers, but he was going the other way with it. He was saying everybody works differently, but we're all in this together. We all understand the idea of making a better world, or something along those lines. And so let's get out there and do things. But that video doesn't come up very much. Everyone, including myself, repeats the real life sandwich handler remark instead of memorizing the really good video where he said, we're all in this together. And that's what I like to tell people. We're all in this together. That doesn't just go for the RLSH, it goes for everybody, every living thing. Maybe even beyond that. But I'll just leave it at that. My name is Joseph Arthur Roszell. You might know me as Captain Canada. Uh, and if there was no Phoenix Jones, there probably wouldn't be no Captain Canada. And I want to wish you all the luck in the world. And I want you to know that I love you. Peace out.